Welcome everyone. We are starting with the Pune chapter, a panel discussion on product coaching journey. So before starting the session, let me thanks our founding sponsor, Innovation Roots. Innovation Roots is a leading consulting and training service provider, helping organizations to achieve business agility and beyond. It is one of the leaders and pioneers of niche publishing services and well known for content collaboration with global thought leaders, authors, and creators. For more information about Innovation Roots, you can visit www.innovationroots.com. Do's and don'ts, as mentioned, please join 5 minutes early so that we can start the session on time. Use high quality speakers and headphones for better sound quality. Please keep your Microsoft phones muted and video disabled, as this may cause disturbance to the panelists and speakers, and also can be a bandwidth issue. Questions will be taken on the chat box. Please enter your questions in the chat box. At the end of the session, we facilitators or moderators will help and read out the questions to the speaker. Okay, or else if time permits, we can open up for you to ask question in person. Please fill the feedback forms after the event to help us understand more about the event management, as well as about the more information what you would like to hear from the community. We appreciate your cooperation. So for this chapter, we have Ajeet Singh, who is going to moderate Pune chapter, this particular panel discussion. Over to you, Ajeet.
Thanks, PMJ. Thanks for this introduction and giving this start to us. Welcome everyone to this session today. A quick introduction of mine. I'm an Agile coach who primarily works in lean Agile ways of working, scale Agile, and leadership development. And today we have a very interesting and emerging topic, and that is about product coaching, right? And there it has two paradigms. In fact, one is in the product side where we have roles like product managers, product owners. Product manager is someone who takes care of everything from market research to developing the concept, idea generation, to designing the product, um, uh, rolling it out in the market, pricing, go-to-market strategies, startups, and even the product lifecycle management. And then we have the product owner who works with the product manager to work with the development team so that the requirements could be developed for the product. And then the other side, the paradigm is of a coaching paradigm, right? When a coach helps the individuals and the team to transform their ways of working, mindset, behaviors, right? Of course, by asking the powerful questions. But that is an opportunity where people reflect back, generate kind of awareness and the right course of actions to get better results for themselves. And when these two paradigms comes together, there comes the role of a product coach, right? And his product coaching journey. And it also comes up with many questions back to back. And what is this product coach role about? What does it take to be a product coach? What kind of benefit it brings? Is it something else beyond the coaching, say facilitation, training, mentoring, and many unknowns actually, which we will try to address with our esteemed panel today that we have from different industries who have touched upon this product journey. I spent a significant time in that. So let me take this privilege without much ado to introduce the panel here. And so we'll go with Girish. Girish, would you please like to introduce yourself very quickly?
Thank you, Ajit, and for extending this opportunity. It's been a pleasure to be here. I'm Girish Babar, working as a product coach. I've been in the transformation journey and learning about agile ways of doing things, product coaching for about last 10 plus years. Uh, my earlier experience has been into the financial domain. Right now, I'm helping the product teams who are actually manufacturing or supporting the manufacturing business of agricultural equipments. So that's about me, and looking forward to learn together on this journey. Thank you.
Thanks, Girish.
Hello, thank you, Ajeet, for the opportunity. I'm glad and honored to be here. I'm program manager, coach, and trainer with Mastercard, and have been, looking here to learn and share the experiences around product coaching. Have total of 16 plus years in IT industry with experience in so many different roles and coaching and training moments. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. Mangesh, please, would you like to go ahead with the introduction?
Hey, first of all, thanks for inviting me to this meet, and I'm really glad that we brought up this topic for discussion. I'm more of an accidental or experimental kind of product coach. May not be following the exact tools and techniques that a real product coach will follow, but so far I've been delivering the satisfactory results. I would say, right? I hope I'll bring some flavor of product coaching here, and I'm also looking to learn from other panelists who are the experts in this area. Thank you.
Definitely. And thanks, Mangesh. Do we have Amit joining us? Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on this call. To give you a brief overview, I am a product manager and a product coach. I've been in this industry for about 10 plus years, and I feel very strongly about product coaching as a way to uh, bring the product mindset within organizations and product teams.
Okay. Thanks, Amit, for this quick introduction. And now we'll start with as I said, there are so many things that everybody want to explore about the product coaching and product coach role and other things. We'll start straight away with a very, very basic question: is what is this product coach role is all about? And for that, we will be going straight to Amit, right? Amit, would you like to share as what is your interpretation of a product coach?
Absolutely. We've all heard about the big companies, the Googles and the Microsofts, and the fantastic people who have built them. In Silicon Valley, there was this person by the name Bill Campbell. There's a book about him called The $1 Trillion Coach. He was a fantastic person who not only told what the right path is for the biggest entrepreneurs the world has seen, but also told them what are the things they should do and they should not do. He was a fantastic coach. Similarly, a product coach is a facilitator role in an organization. It helps the product team, a product coach helps the product team to bring a product mindset. Be curious, be facilitative. Yeah.
Okay. So you say facilitating and bringing the right mindset. And what are the elements of coaching into the role of a product coach? Amit, would you like to highlight that?
I will just
Mm,
try to share my viewpoint, what I've learned, what I've experienced.
yeah,
When it comes to
definitely.
elements, I think definitely product coach is the one who can help team learn
Mm,
on how to find out what is the right problem to solve. And once you know what is the right problem to solve, then inside your customers or users context, what could be the right solution to fix it out. Okay, so this person will actually try to help team come up and build strong foundation when it comes to customer centricity,
mm,
uh, going close and understanding what really matters to the ecosystem. When I say ecosystem, not only customers but your business and the team who is actually building it. So this is
mm,
a kind of central role which actually tries to help team find that sweet spot where the solution works for the business, customer, as well as the team who is
mm.
into the building business. So those are some of the elements that I would love to share.
Thank you, Girish, and thank you, Amit, for highlighting the role of a product coach there. I think he's also driven by someone who's by the agile values and principles, also having agile mindset also, because we live in the iterative incremental world where the value has to go to the customer in a short span of time. All right, so now that we know who's a product coach, the another interesting question comes that there are so many roles about the coaching, right? There's a agile coach, there's a technical coach, and then here is the emerging role of a product coach. How this product coach role is so different from the role of agile coach and the technical coach. Maybe Mangesh, you would like to throw some light on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for putting that perspective, Girish. So now, I personally believe when it comes to agile coach, their main purpose is to coach the team on how do they accept the agility, prepare their mindset to be more agile and not become fragile by any means, and make the team collaborations quite smoother, because when you are working with the larger setups you have a lot of teams working together, and a lot of time the communication really becomes a challenge, right? So there comes the agile coach. So they are more focused on, I would say, establishing the best practices, best agile practices, processes, and essentially orchestrate the entire bandwagon, right? So when we say product coach is for product and people, I would say agile coach is for development and processes, right? I would love to speak about technical coach, but we have Seema, who is a real expert, who does this in day in day out. So Seema.
Sure, thanks, Mangesh. Very well said. I think we already covered what product coach does and what agile. Product coach is what help us bringing the what and why in the right way, and then agile coach bringing the forces together, prepare the mindset to accept and collaborate. But when they collaborate, what will they do and how they will do? Right, that's where the technical coach comes into place picture. So it is important that the the team, that bandwagon which we have got together, they understand the real what and why. They understand the big picture, and they bring together the best practices of technical expertise and put up the right product in the market, right? We have seen all of that. Building the right product is very important. Sometimes the requirement is misunderstood, and so on and so forth. So ensuring that simplicity of the code is maintained, the clarity is maintained, the effectivity is maintained, and all of that, let's lot goes behind the how part of building it and delivering it to the customer ultimately. So that's where technical coach comes into picture. Now, as we all know, all of these have to work together, right? From what we define till we deliver it to customer, everything has to be aligned and collaborated. Then only it makes sense. So there could be one person who is probably expert in all of that and coach from start to end. But yeah, if you have different people, which we expect to be, product coach start with
Mm,
what, agile coach collaborates, and then technical coach brings in the how part of it.
absolutely, absolutely. And thanks for sharing your views, Mangesh and Seema. Well said that it is these three roles together who ultimately delivers the value to the customer. Product coach focusing on building the right things and getting the things right, and agile coach on the agile ways of working, as you said, on the process side. And as Seema, you said, like end of the day, we deliver the software, and your code has to be looking good actually, because that is what is going to work. So all three has to closely work to get that product, what we call uh, getting things right and for the customer and delivering and making that impact in market.
So basically,
All
all
right.
the WH questions are answered with these three.
Yes, all these three. Absolutely. Yes. So now, when we have a very established fact that we need a product coach and there are right reasons for them, then uh, the question comes, what are the success factors of a product coach and what kind of benefits he brings to the product organization? Girish,
Great.
would you like to go ahead?
Maybe I can just share my
Yeah,
perspective. I
yeah.
think biggest success factor for any coach comes in form of the team succeeding with the product and achieving the desired goals, solving the real
Mm,
problem for the real people. I think that is, if I have to choose one, That will be a one success criteria. Microsoft and Google did some study across industry, and interestingly, we found that 2/3 of the features. Some companies do claim that 80% of the features that we as software professionals do build in the digital world, barely anyone uses it. And so only 20% of the stuff that we build actually gets or delivers the value that we intend to. If I really look at it, it brings a huge opportunity to help the organizations and team save the effort for building something which probably no one wants, which probably doesn't meet any need. So when a coach, a product coach especially, engages effectively with the team, some of the things I would expect team to start experiencing. One is definitely, I think, how many features we are actually discarding after just quick validation. So not building anything, but quickly validating and maybe throwing out few of the things that might not be a good things to build. The second I would watch for is how many discovery experiments that we are doing to figure out what is the right solution. So what is the right problem, right solution to find out. The third I would say is that what kind of goals team is setting. Is it in just output, project oriented goals, or team is really looking behind what outcomes and what value we are actually trying to deliver. If we take team into at least this kind of mode, I believe a product coach has succeeded in helping team change the way of thinking as well as change the approach of building solutions. So those are some of the success factors that come to my mind.
All right. And coming to what are the benefits that a product coach can bring to the organization? Amit, would you like to pick up that one?
Well, organizations know how sometimes know how to build products, but that is the first part. Do teams, once product mature, do they move to the strategic direction? How can teams align their product vision to the company's vision? For example, if you want to deliver a mobile app uh, to help improve the user onboarding rate, how can product teams align that to a company vision is something which a product manager can tell. A product manager, a product coach in their roles are important catalysts to drive teams' vision, to drive those product roadmaps, to align with the corporate roadmaps, to see what the business goals are. Those business goals could be doing 100 million in revenue. How does that translate to the work of each individual within the team? A product coach can help do that. A product manager might tell you the vision and might tell you what the roadmap looks like. Would also tell you why customers would prefer their product. It is a product coach which brings in the ability to ask within the team to ask a lot of these why questions and bring that product mindset that helps companies grow.
All right. Thanks, Girish and Amit, for that. And then, having understood this, that the success factors and what benefits, another curiosity that arises around this role is that why did you choose to become a product coach? And what kind of preparations you have done to perform this role so far? So, in fact, I'll try to go around the table with everyone. Maybe we can start with Seema first.
Sure. Thanks, Ajeet, for this question. That I think this is interesting for me. I'll start with the how part of it. when I was doing agile coaching part of it, and I was discussing lots of things with the assignment and the organization out there, and I used to ask lots of questions. Especially even if it's a team level, stories given, does team understand why they've got it? To the product managers, why they have created a particular product vision or roadmap or feature, or for that matter, any small thing. And if they don't know the answer, of course, they feel, oh, maybe something we need to go and get it back. I think my lots of asking question trend and my mindset got me seat on the table where they said thought maybe we need a coaching on the product side as well, and let's discuss out there. So that's how I got into that kind of mindset, and kind of did that in the portfolio level, where we then streamlined everything, what all we are building. We had basic discussions around you know like somebody mentioned, I think Girish mentioned about 80-20% rule, right? And we realize at least if not 80, at least we can get rid of 10% of it, right, which is not getting used. Why to waste that time and energy and efforts? So we identified what is not required first, and then also what we had, we streamlined it. So that's where I started. And the challenges, of course, is people out there with lots of experience are not open to change, to understand, to answer the difficult questions. So from there, the journey starts, and then it keeps on building it. So that's my experience out there.
Mm-hmm. Any kind of specific preparation that you might have gone through to play this role, or just in case you have to?
Absolutely. I think because you sit on the table with so much of experience out there, you need to learn a lot. So what I did in that, when I got there, now I realize, okay, maybe I need to ask a lot more and relevant questions as well. So I have to prepare, go back and learn more about the domain. Now product is, all about, what that in the current industry, what is possible, what's not possible. And there's lots. You cannot learn that everything, and you cannot be perfect. So I started learning more and more, and went in depth of what we are doing right now, what is the as a systems, and what more we can do. So I ask those questions to myself, get answers myself, and then ask them. So I did lot of reading, lots of in-depth search, and probably learned some techniques and tools as well. So that's how I prepared myself for that.
Okay, thanks, Seema, for sharing your thoughts on that. Mangesh, would you like to please?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned, I'm more of an accidental product coach. So for any product person, right, it is essential to first identify the need. Right? So at first, you should be convinced with the fact that there is a need of a product coach, and that person in your team is nobody else but you, right? So what I did is I just started from myself, right? So you start from your own project, your own team, right? Prepare yourself to be a good storyteller, and the way you share your experiences to the others, that is something that is, you are giving it to the team, right? Because as Seema mentioned, if you're just sitting on the table with a lot of experience, but you're not reaching to the team in right manner, then it's of no use basically, right? So you have to reach out to your team. For that, you need to be a good storyteller, right? And one important thing that we should always do is you choose your own mentor wisely. So we have Google, LinkedIn, everything, all these sources available for learning, but having mentor for yourself is really something that is going to help you, right? So I would recommend that. Thankfully, I did not face many challenges because the path I chose is to start with my own team. So I was in good hands, and they knew that I'm also in the learning phase. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mangesh. And I'm just going by your word, I become an accidental product manager. What was so accidental there? If you just quickly want to cover that.
Yeah, so basically, our company was moving into the agile ways of working, right? So I mean, it's like 6, 7, or close to 8 years back, and we wanted somebody, who actually. So that time everything was a mix of, waterfall plus agile. So we used to tweak waterfall and call it as agile, right? So that's what how it was working, but somehow it was not, giving the expected results. So while I was sitting with some of my senior colleagues, directors from my institute organization, so they mentioned that we want somebody who actually can guide us. right? So you're like, okay, why can't we do it ourselves, right? So you have 20 years of experience, he has 17, I have like 8 plus of experience. Let's combine our experiences and start something on our own. Right? So then we took a step forward, and then we started, building things around. We did a lot of reading. We learn about how to actually become a good storyteller, right? These are all things we did, and eventually it worked out. So yeah.
Well done, and thanks for sharing your experience. Definitely. So then we'll move to Girish with the same question. And why did you choose to be a product coach? And what kind of preparation you have done to perform in this role? You can please share.
Sure. My journey started around 5 to 6 years back. So I think over last 2 decades, we have seen Agile picked up across industry. I think teams adopted various frameworks, various methods, DevOps tools and technologies. And I think we have come far ahead when it comes to developing solutions in a faster pace. A really good uh, achievements by the teams. 5 to 6 years back, I just started thinking that, hey, we are doing so much good when it comes to efficiency, when it comes to speed. But what our real customers are getting, who are actually users of the product, and where are our teams when it comes to understanding the value and impact that we are delivering. I think journey started that when I really looked around, I felt that, hey, maybe we are still more into a project mode. We are very, very much efficient when it comes to execution. But what is the half part of the story? What happens after, or what happens before we develop something? I think that's where my journey started. I felt that, hey, there is a really good opportunity, and maybe industry needs few folks who can really help teams understand why we are working on something, what really we are trying to solve. And once we know that what is the right thing to build, then maybe our agile momentum has already helped us in building it efficient and effective way. So that was a trigger point for me. Now, after that realization, I asked myself the question, okay, so if this requires a change, who needs to change and where to start? It was a simple question, and I realized that change needs to start with me and first my team. So taking those baby steps, smaller approaches, I think those small success stories just kept building on. And I was really fortunate to get some really good mentors within India, as well as some of them have been from US, who helped me pick up on this front. So yeah, and that's how I reached here so far.
Wonderful. But you were fortunate enough to have a mentor, and the kind of experience you were already carrying, which made it more realistic for you to continue with what you're doing and enjoying to do that. But how about people who wants to take on this role? Are there any recommended courses from any universities or organizations, institutions, or certifications? Do you think like could help people to build this career, get better with that role of a product coach?
Yeah, sure. I think that's a good question. So I will share a few of the things that I know. And I would say there is ample amount of support is available in the industry. You just need to take one step ahead, seek for the help, seek for the guidance, and there are really, really good mentors who are available, who will be able to help you just with an investment of time and looking at your eagerness. So support is available. In addition to that, there are some really good courses. Uh, you can find those on Coursera. There are organizations like XLRI. Product management courses and certifications are coming up. Those are the really good starting points to build the theoretical concept and foundation very strong. However, I would say that once you complete that, the real thing begins when you take the things on the ground with the real people. That's what I learned in initial an year or so, that hey, this is all about more about the people, less about the tools, technology, or maybe the frameworks and methods. So yes, I think those are some of the things that we can think of starting. I think we do have so many folks here as well. So keep attending such kind of events. there is a lot of support and connects that can help you get going on this path.
Absolutely. Thank you, Girish, for your time there. But then we have a question, the panel here. The question is from is about product journey with different customer depends on the architecture to enable configuration and enhancements depends on the architecture. How the product coach enables this? Anyone would like to take this up?
I can share my
maybe.
perspective.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Girish.
good.
Mukesh.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead, Mukesh. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mukesh.
Yeah, so when you speak about the architecture and enhancements and configurations, I believe that's Seema, right? She's a technical coach. So, as we mentioned earlier, right? So it's not a product coach who will speak about how the architecture has to be, how the configuration enhancement has to be, right? So, and also Girish mentioned, right, sometime back, they help the team, they help the team, they help the team. Yeah, I think he was purposely using the word help. So they are not spoon feeding, right? They are, they are empowering team to take right decision. And these things that we are discussing, I believe, Seema, correct me if I'm wrong, that you do day in and day out as a technical coach as well.
Mm.
Absolutely. I think just to add on that, like we mentioned, how it's different. The technical coach is available, then of course the product coach, technical coach, the agile coach, or all the experience mindset, they sit together. Even before you want to design a product and you decide what you want to really build, they are, of course, they have considered what is in a current system, whether it will support it, whether it should not support. All of these discussions are supposed to happen, and I'm sure if they have experienced architect available, they will have those discussions, and it will be part of that product discussions where they are going to understand the system, and before even product coach ask the difficult questions, they need to have the answers there, at least the current understanding of the system, and that's gonna be there. So a product coach will ask, are you ready? When we say ask, are you ready? Is your system ready? Is your infrastructure ready? Is your team ready? All of that questions will come into picture as well, right? And that's where we will understand whether architecture needs to be considered. Do we have more of technical work to do? Is it more of functional work to do? All of those questions will be considered, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mangesh and Seema there for this answering this question there. We got a couple of more questions. I'll pick up one. It says product manager, business analyst becomes product coach. Can they become product coach? And I think they can definitely become. Being a product manager is a big plus because they've already seen the journey end to end, right from the market research till delivering it to the market and entire life cycle of the product. So, but then it is like as the panel said, the elements of coaching, the elements of facilitations, building that kind of mindset is the key, which is where they need to work, and then you're all set to take on that role with the help of the mentors which you can find in the industry and some of the certifications and courses as Girish mentioned. You should be good. One more question that I see here, and maybe panel you would like to pick up. Does a process agile coach need to do any bit of product coaching too?
I'm really eager to say something about it. As a coach, you behave as a coach. And if you put yourself in a box, how you will bring others out of it, right?
Mm,
Unless there is a product coach available and you don't want to create the friction over there, you need to collaborate. Otherwise, if you're there, there is only one coach, that's the agile coach, and you are there, just do any the kind of coaching movements available, do everything you want to bring that customer and your client, you want them to benefit out of it. So you can, if you have that knowledge, if you have that ability, you understand it, you have right questions to ask, why not? So I'm that kind of person available here.
I would like to add a little bit about the earlier question. Can a business analyst or can a product manager become a product coach?
sure, Amit, go ahead, please.
Yes, you can. But then your KPIs are essentially, they change drastically. This definitely gives you a lot of help.
Mm,
For a product manager, the KPIs is a successful product delivery or a rock star product. For a product coach, the KPIs or a good deliverable is a successful team. So there's a paradigm shift in terms of how you interpret what your success is. Your success as a product coach or technical coach is how good your team performs. How are
Absolutely.
they answering, asking questions? How has there been a change in mindset from a project mindset, which Girish mentioned earlier, to a product
Mm,
mindset? So if you are able to make champion and bring those change within product teams, that's when you succeed. So anyone who comes from a BA PM background, you are highly in a highly advantageous position,
mm,
much better than other people who would want to break into product coaching.
mm,
Uh, but some of these nuances which you might want to keep in mind is that your deliverable is not a successful product, but a successful product team.
mm.
So yeah, if that's what you believe, and handling people is the most difficult job.
Well, well said. Well said. So we have a couple of more questions coming. Probably we'll pick up soon. But one question that is definitely in my mind as well, and it's worth asking that: what has been your peaks and troughs in this journey, and what led to them? Right? Maybe Girish, you would like to cover?
Sure. So I do remember when I started the journey, when I was learning a lot about the new ways of developing digital products, I was personally pretty excited about it. I got to know about discovery and product canvas and persona interview and all other things, and how to challenge the people. Everything I was learning from the books. And on the go, I found that hey, maybe there was a big opportunity where these concepts can be tried out. I went there with all my book knowledge. Uh, I just started challenging people, and soon I realized that maybe hey, maybe I have done something wrong. While there was a huge opportunity to check whether it is the right product fit or not for the market, I think the way I handled that situation, even I was not allowed to try or experiment anything. Maybe I got the doors closed. That was a pretty disappointing moment for me,
Mm,
of not getting even that opportunity to explore or maybe do those experiments. Uh, but I just thought that hey, let me retrospect what I could have done different and better. And then I realized that hey, maybe all these techniques, tools, everything is fine. But eventually, what I need to deal with is the people. There is an emotional journey everyone is going to traverse through. As a coach, I need to balance both the things together. What I'm learning on the product side, what are the modern techniques that are coming up. At the same time, I need to better connect with the team and maybe uh, converse in a different way. So I
mm,
just tricked it a little bit. I started challenging, but earlier I was challenging directly, which was sounding a little bit offending to the team. I changed my style and I just started with the curiosity and intent to understand. So very simple, basic questions. I started telling them that hey, in US school, consider me as kind of a kindergarten student who doesn't
mm,
know anything about your product, and I'm here to learn.
mm,
Slowly, the journey and questions started revolving soon. And we just picked one small team. I will share one example that that team was trying to build a feature of building a report, and the
mm,
overall estimate was about 3 months. The simple questions I just started asking, hey, for whom we are building, what makes us feel that this report is needed, what this report is going to solve for our users and customers. Uh, and during that thing, I think I got pretty positive response. At least team got ready to go ahead and check that whether it is this is needed or not.
mm,
Team built within just one day a very small piece of the story. Of all the solution, it was just about 5% of the work. They
mm,
quickly moved it to the production with the real users. Trust me, that was first time in my career for me as well as that team. We were throwing out to the team something which has nothing in the background.
mm,
In first 1 month, we realized that no one went there, no one needed it, uh, and team was pretty anxious of throwing that kind of half cooked thing in front of customers. But after 1 month, then maybe team took a cautious call with the help of data that, hey, maybe this is not the worth spending our time and energy. We are engineers, we are here to build something good. And team took call that, hey, maybe this is something no one wants. We do not want to spend our energy on that part. I do recall that in last month, some of those team members just approached and said that, hey, that was a kind of a twister in our thinking way of thinking. After that, that team has continuously developed that habit, and now they are saying that, hey, this is really helping. Even it is making us as a very happy unit, even if sometimes we fail on our ideas, because we are taking that as a kind of a learning and moving ahead. So I think that makes me feel happy that, hey, maybe at least that experiment, that successful thing, could change in the way team has been working.
And nice story there, and really motivating. In fact, we started with the idea which nobody liked, even till 1 month, but then later on, everybody realized that was a very good start, and you could kind of persuaded people and stick to your grounds, which has now, resulted in what you want to achieve, and you're able to inculcate that culture. And you also well said about, it's just not about the product techniques and the tools that you bring in for coaching. It is also about connecting and empathizing with the teams. That's where the real benefits start emerging, because you have a good buy-in then from the people, and they feel like same part of the team. Well said. Anything, Mangesh, you would like to add on that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really nice story. I mean, I don't want to probably, spend more time on that after this one. But definitely for me, the peak was, when people started appreciating what we have done, right? So as I mentioned, we started this as an experiment, right? We failed initially. Why? Because we were actually moving from this waterfall to agile. So for us, that time, agile was delivering things in not in a sprint, but in a phased manner. It was phase one, phase two, phase three, but not sprint one, sprint two. So we started failing on delivery side, but slowly we started building the process and eventually built a right process, and then things started moving quite faster. Right? So that was a kind of wow moment for all of us. But yeah, I mean, I'll pause here because I don't want to steal that movement that Girish created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Magesh. That was a good anecdote. In fact, a really inspiring stories there. Another question that I would like to ask is, like, uh, how relevant this product coach will be in the industry in the days to come? What the future holds for it? Girish, if you would like to pick up this one.
I feel the journey had just started. If I really look around, and I'm talking even beyond now, software industry, I think journey has started. Uh, I feel that the demand and the peak is going to go up as we move ahead. Tremendous opportunities. Our engineers are doing a wonderful job. I think if we can marry the product to the technology in a nice way, uh, we are going to create some really amazing products and solutions for the world. So yes, there is going to be a high demand in the industry, which I'm seeing even right now, and I feel that it is going to be in demand in the future as well. When it comes to relevance, yes, for sure, digital products it is, and I think we were just picking it up from the manufacturing industry, some of the things, but it is kind of a handshake that is happening between the software industry and core engineering fields. Uh, and then that's where I think this product is going to go evolve further.
So the role is emerging. There are a lot of potential. So it's better we start finding
We
our
are
mentors.
just started. I am
We
saying
just
that we are
started.
just
Yes,
started,
we
and just maybe
Just
one or
started.
two steps we are starting. A long way to
Mm.
go, and maybe we
Long
need
way.
more product coaches, definitely.
More product coaches. Yeah. So better we gear up, have your mentors in place, and all right, good. So how one more question that I would like to take up, and that is about related to the customers and the market, right? That is the side where our product actually gets delivered. How can a product coach make it develop a better understanding of the market and the customer for that product? Seema, would you like to throw some light on that, please?
Sure, Ajit. I think it's difficult in the competition we have around. However, I think firstly, coach has to ensure that he's up to date, he's informed, understand what's happening in the market before even help somebody else develop that understanding. Of course, that's important, and then understand what customer wants. Whom you are coaching. So if I'm a
Mm,
product coach for you, so I need to understand what you really want out of it, or whatever you want to achieve, because unless we get, I think one of the thing that I normally focus on is getting the right vision. Sometimes we just put something, okay, let's increase our profits by 25%. But what, why, how, let's, put it in a different perspective that anybody reads it, understand their role in it. All right. So getting that understanding from the customer is very, very important, that what they want ultimately. And then, of course, you help them and develop that understanding of the customer and market by different tools and techniques that we have available. One of them, which you use, is mapping, the design thinking, innovation mindset, and different workshops. The Gemba workshops, and even I have one interesting experience in past. One of the organization where I started my agile journey very, very early years, probably 10 years back. They even had this technique of interviewing their competitors. They didn't
mm,
want to just compete with them and go ahead with them. They had this competitions, and then they had this workshops. They invited all of them who are the competitors in the industry with their product, and they had this interviews, the feedback sessions, and all of that, right? Now you don't have to learn by your mistake. We all hear, right? Let's learn from others' mistake. Let's take the feedback which others have taken already.
mm,
Why you want to
mm,
reinvent the wheel? So all of these
mm,
things will help you. You know, First you need to ensure you as a coach understand what all is available in the market, how you can develop that thought process, and how you have understood your customer. Now take that up and give it to the customer to understand and develop their thought process about the customer and market needs. Now
mm,
sometimes we get busy in doing the better of the product which is already available, rather than innovating something new or bringing something new which even customer doesn't know, right? We all knew the innovation stories and the market stories. If somebody says I need to agile stories, I need to go to that another place, I need to go faster. Why to give them a scooter, give them an airplane, but customer doesn't know. They're just
mm.
seen a cycle, so they'll ask you a motorcycle, but there is other ways available. So that's how you make it possible. So there are different techniques, tools I would suggest to understand, and give trainings, workshops around those, and help customers understand the market and customer more. So those are my 2 cents about it. Back to you, Ajit.
Thank you, Seema, for enlightening us with this understanding about the market and the customer, how product coach can help there. I think we have reached the end of our session, and the next 10 minutes are for for audience to come up with the question. We already have some of the questions there, but then I'll invite audience to come back with as many questions that we can pick up. But what I'll do, actually, some of the questions I couldn't pick up, I just pick up them again. And the very first one that is in front of me is, I think it's easy to answer as well. And over to you,
Ajit,
panelists.
Prashant
Yep,
here. Sorry to interrupt.
yep.
3:50 the session ends. So any questions in the chat can be answered offline after the session is over. Maybe you could ask one takeaway and end the session. Sorry to interrupt.
Not a problem, not a
Sure.
problem. Okay, so, and thanks, Prashant, for reminding. I mean, very interesting. In fact, what has been your key takeaway as a product coach? Panelists, if you would like to cover up, maybe we can start with Amit first.
Yeah, as a product coach, you're a facilitator first. Your aim is to inspire curiosity within teams and take them from a project-based mindset to a product-based mindset.
Mm,
If you are able to inspire teams that building products, selling products, and listening to customers is the way to go for the longevity of their products, and that's when I think you've been a successful coach. And turn most of the time I work with engineering teams, uh, talking, helping them talk a little bit more about product management discovery. So my takeaway is to be a facilitator, which enables the team to bring a product mindset amongst themselves.
mm. Girish, you would like to add? What has been your key takeaway as a as an experience of being a product coach there in the industry?
Building product mindset, helping team think in a customer centric way. I have learned that it is more about the people, less about the tools. While the change might sound very difficult in the beginning, it is very simple with only one thing is that we go ahead, bring ourselves to ground zero and ask with an intent to understand. If that starts happening, change is very, very much possible and change is welcome by many folks. And in addition to that, I think this what we are talking about is not anything confined to a product. It is across roles, across layers. It is all about way of thinking and way of doing things. So I think that's my takeaway, that it is more about the people with whom we are working and less about the techniques. Techniques are very easily and very abundantly available in the market. How do you make it work for the people? I think there lies the crux. That's my takeaway. Thank you, Ajit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ask with the intent to understand, right? What we call advocate with inquiry. All right. Magesh, would like to cover what is your key takeaway as a product coach?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say don't hold back saying, I'm a developer, I'm a tester, I'm a business analyst, right? No, just move ahead. Just you take a step ahead yourself. Small steps, right? But you start yourself instead of waiting for somebody to come to you and tell you, hey, we have an opportunity. No, just start yourself and try to be a good learner, good storyteller, and remain in people, connect with them. So I believe this is a takeaway I had so far from my journey.
Thanks, Mangesh,
Probably
for
I'll
sharing.
add mine. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ajit,
sure.
maybe not troubling you to repeat that. But yeah, I think they all have covered pretty much. And in general, all coaches should do this, right? It's a product coach, agile coach, or other, even life coach. I think combining all of this is my takeaways is to be a good product coach or any coach is be open, listen, with that intent to understand, of course, and then learn lot of things yourself because that's important, and ultimately ask the right and relevant questions. And that's how you facilitate, right? Your one powerful tool is asking the right and relevant question at the right time, and that's my takeaway. Be open, learn, listen, and ask the right questions.
Wonderful.
That's
Yeah, ask the right questions. Okay, so thank you, panel, for all your wonderful insights, sharing your knowledge, experiences, journey, challenges, and wonderful, experiences for people to listen and motivate them for this potential role. Yeah, we get to know that there's a lot of potential about this role in the future. It really excites me as well as a agile coach to look into that aspect. Thank you.
Let's take one simple question, which people it would benefit the audience as you're reading the front, which was in front of you, like just a simple question you must have answered, but if you can repeat that
Yeah,
answer. Product
definitely. I
coach
think,
and product
yeah,
manager one.
yeah, absolutely. I was coming to that one only. I think we covered that, but then it will be good to cover that back so that
Yeah,
it helps people. At least that is a very basic question. What
yeah.
the question is, like, product coach and product manager, what is the difference between two? Anyone like to pick up?
Yeah,
I will give it a try. The product manager is a discipline and focused on the product success. Okay, so the product is at its core. We'll be working very closely with the team who is building, as well as we'll be very closely directly working with the UX partners and the market or the customers. Right. So that's a in hand on hands-on in the team role. When it comes to coach role, the focus shifts to the people on how you make people, product managers, product leaders think and change the way they are building solutions, as well as finding the right solutions to build. So for product manager, focus is on product success. For and product coach, success is on the people success. So develop and nurturing a thought process and nurturing a product. That's the basic fundamental difference. Does that help?
Hello?
absolutely, Girish. Yes, Girish.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Very sharp answer, Girish. Thank you very much.
Very well.
With this, thanks a lot. Thanks Ajit for facilitating, as well as all the panelists for sharing their thoughts and insights. And this I could see on by the uh, what is mentioned on the chat. We can see most of them had very good takeaways for them.